WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. President Trump is looking to expand the use of the National Guard to curb crime in U.S. cities.
We're going to go into San Francisco at some point in the not-too-distant future and make that a great city again.
Trump told reporters aboard Air Force One that he could invoke the Insurrection Act, if necessary, to send in troops, adding that if he does, there's no more court cases, there's no more anything. Amazon Web Services has resolved a major outage that disrupted platforms like Alexa, Snapchat, ChatGPT, and Fortnite. The issue stemmed from AWS's U.S. East 1 region, but full service was restored by early morning. And India Bradley has made history as the first black soloist with the New York City Ballet and the first black woman to perform as Dewdrop in the Nutcracker. Bradley says she's excited for the exposure, drawing attention to the need for more diversity in ballet. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
New Schools for New Orleans is excited to announce that our Katrina 20 exhibit, After the Storm, 20 Years of Change and Progress in New Orleans Public Education, is now open to the public. You can experience this powerful look at how our schools have transformed since Katrina at the New Orleans Public School Library's main branch, 219 Loyola Avenue, during regular business hours, now through December. Bring your friends, family members, students, and colleagues. Looking for a group visit for your school or organization? Email us at info@nsno.org.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Show right here on WBOK 1230 a.m. The talk line is 504-582-9422. 504-582-9422. In your ears is Will Sutton. That's who I am. Usually in your ears also is Chief Eddie Compass, but he's a little sick. So thought it best that he not come in here and spread anything. And also that I think the man works so hard with his 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs that when he's feeling under the weather, he needs to take care of himself. So Chief Eddie isn't here today, but you got me, Will Sutton, and we've got you. So we welcome your call at 504-582-9422. There's a lot going on, and we'll get to some of the news and information that you want to know, should know, might want to know, and you can ask us any question, and we will do our best to respond. But we might give you an answer, but it might just be a response. All right? So let's get going. We had finished up that big campaign, resulted in multiple elections, including the election of a mayor-elect, Helena Moreno, and also the re-up of City Council at Large, J.P. Morrell, City Councilman for District C, Freddie King, City Councilman for District D, Eugene Green, and the City Council member from what she says is B for Best, Leslie Harris, with no challengers. First time that's happened since that happened with our now congressman when he was on City Council some time back. But we have a number of runoffs We elected a sheriff, and Michelle Woodfolk would be the incoming sheriff. Going to take a little while, but that'll be our new sheriff. But it is not determined yet whether incumbent clerk Darren Lombard will be our clerk moving forward. The incumbent Darren Lombard is in a tight race with Calvin Duncan. So this is not someone who has had experience in this type of public elected service, but clearly, a lot of people like the idea of change. They like the idea of someone who's been a jailhouse lawyer, so to speak, made on his own, did enough to get his name cleared and officially exonerated. And so that's a tight race, and the turnout yielded 47 to 46 split. So neither of the gentlemen got 50%. We also had the runoffs in District A and in District E. So in District E, which is, for the most part, that's New Orleans East and the Ninth Ward, that is a race between State Representative Jason Hughes and former City Councilwoman for District E, Cindy Nguyen. And over in A, we have Holly Friedman and Amy McCarron. So both of those races are important. The citywide clerk race is important. If you're in District A, you'll have the opportunity to vote for Holly or Amy and determine the clerk. If you're in District E, you'll have the opportunity to vote for Jason or Cindy and determine the clerk. If you live elsewhere in the city, you have the opportunity to determine whether Lombard or Duncan should be our clerk. These are important positions, and we strongly encourage you to participate. Plus, there will be very, very, very important ballot measures that will be on the November 15th ballot. And we're going to be looking at some of all of that in the coming days and reminding you about registration. It is too late to register to vote in person. You missed that cutoff. You missed it. But it's okay because the deadline to register online is October 25th. So you got a few more days. You can go to Go Vote online, Go Vote, or you can go to the Secretary of State's website, sos.la.gov, and look for the voter registration information, in particular, Go Vote online registration system, and that will get you the opportunity to register online, and then you can vote in the November 15th election. I'm sure all of us know someone who is not registered to vote. We know someone who is not registered to vote. So we need to get out there, work the phones, work the texts, step up to somebody gently and ask them are they registered and get them to participate in the upcoming election. The usual is that there's a big fall off from the election, the open election in like October to the election in runoffs in November. But it doesn't have to be that way. We hit slightly more than 40% this month, and we can get 40% again with your participation. And 40% is not good. 40% of 100%, that is not good. That's not even close to a passing grade. But it's way better than what we've been doing. And that is a good thing. So we need more people to register and then make a plan to vote. Early voting starts November 1 and continues through the 8th. And those early voting hours are 8:30 to 6 p.m., excluding Sunday, November 2nd. So early voting November 1 through the 8th. And for those of you who are eligible, you can get that absentee ballot, but you have to request it no later than November 12th. So you can do that today. You can do it tomorrow. You can do it the next day. But you have to request it no later than 4:30 p.m. on November 12th. And you can have the option, if you have that ballot in hand, you then have the option of using that ballot to vote from the comfort of your home. You can participate in early voting and not use the mail ballot, or you can vote on election day. But this ensures your opportunity to vote because you have that in hand. The only thing is, you can't just request it and then bring it in on November 15th. Nope. Doesn't work that way. So you have to have your completed absentee or mail ballot returned by November 14th by 4:30 p.m. By 4:30 p.m. And of course, the polling hours on November 15th are 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. So this is an important thing. We want everybody to get out there and register. We want everybody to pay more attention to the unfinished races. And we want everybody to pay attention and participate in this election on November 15th. I know we can do it. I know we can do better than single-digit turnout. We can do better than 12% or 13%. If we did 40% for the October election, I'm certain we can get to 40%, but we can certainly get at least half to two-thirds of that. But the only way that's going to happen is if people register to vote and then vote, and if those who are registered make a plan now to vote. Make a plan now to vote. And then vote. Vote your conscience, whoever you want to vote for. But please participate in that election. It's important. It's another part of what we expect with the leadership of our city. City council, the city council core is clear with the vote that the voter results. It's clear who we want to lead our legislative branch, but for 2 open seats. The seat currently held by Oliver Thomas, District E, is open because he ran for mayor. And the seat currently held by Joe DeRusso is he's leaving and going full-time with law practice, but I'm sure he's going to be deeply involved in our community. So that is a open competition, and that's Holly Freeman and Amy McCarron. And yes, there are black folks who live in District A. And we know there's plenty of black folks who live in District E. So we want you all to get out and register and vote so that we can have the impact on the city that we need. Meanwhile, there's a lot of other stuff happening in the news, people. You know, we got yet another day of the government shutdown. And as each day goes by, we're realizing the impact of this government shutdown. And it's starting to affect more and more people. And those individuals are feeling the pain, and their families are feeling the pain. And now we have more people who will feel the pain because now we're talking about food stamps. That's right, food stamps. So the money for food stamps could run out next week. Now, in our state, that's like 800,000 people. And the people who we know who survive with the assistance of food stamps might not be getting that money. I don't know if a lot of people realize that, but with the government shutdown, this could come as early as next week, and that would be just in time, so to speak, for Thanksgiving. So once it stops, it won't be resuming unless and until the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program resumes. And that is pitiful. Pitiful. I mean, we got 40 million Americans who get food stamps. These are low-income people, and this helps with the cost of groceries, funded by the federal government and the states, including ours. And there's 800,000 people in Louisiana. That's about 17% of our state's population. And that would be a shame. We got a caller. Good morning, Pop Jones. How are you, sir?
Good morning. I'm just waking up, Will.
All right. Well, I'm glad the Lord bless you with another day.
Yeah. Oh, thank Sam and you. Oh, what's going on with you? What you talking about this morning?
We're talking about government food stamps with the government shutdown. Looks like the program's going to, the people who benefit from the program may not be getting that money as early as next week because of the government shutdown. And in our state,
they're taking everything else away from the people. Look like everybody gonna be in a soup line, like there was in 1929 or something.
Yeah, thereabout.
Mm-hmm. So, what they're trying to accomplish?
Well, they're from my vantage point, what they're trying to accomplish is to put enough pain on federal workers that they can remake the government, because by law, the federal government during the shutdown can shut down, but the federal workers are supposed to be paid back pay. But the president in the White House says he doesn't think that's necessary to pay people who work their back pay. And with the SNAP benefits, they're looking at making people feel the pain, and they wanted to blame it on the Democrats, because the Democrats are fighting for prolonging the ACA or Obamacare, and the Republicans want that conversation for a later date. They want this resolution to move forward in the Senate to stop the government shutdown, and they want to talk about health care later. And the Democrats say, not so fast, we don't trust you. So.
Ruthless, Will. Ruthless.
Say that again?
That's all I can say. Oh, look like this. It looks like this is worse than a dictator.
Well, I think you got a point, Pop, because, dictators often use economics and food and access as things to keep people under control, but it doesn't mean they don't provide it.
Yeah, this is this one person doing this all by themselves?
Well, if the president wanted this shutdown to end, all he has to do is call the Republican leader in the Senate and say, end it now, and it would be over. It would be over. But because they would then negotiate with Democrats, get the additional few votes that they need to pass this and open the government. But they don't want to have those conversations, apparently, serious conversations about health care.
Just like
so in that sense, one person could do it. But at this point, because he's watching it and not being involved, then it's left to the Republicans and the Democrats to say, okay, what are we going to do? It's real clear what the Republicans want. They just want a resolution of this and to talk about health care later. And the Democrats want to resolve this, but let's talk about health care now.
Well, I know I've been there a long time, and I saw what Adolf Hitler did to his people. But it looked like the same thing that we head towards.
I hear you.
It doesn't look good. Oh well.
Yeah, my colleague Elise Farrell reported in the newspaper that for every one meal that food banks provide, every one meal, SNAP usually provides 9. That's a lot.
Taking the food to take from the children.
As much as we need and want food banks, and they do great work, but according to the executive director of Feeding Louisiana, every one meal that the food banks provide, SNAP usually provides 9 meals. That's a heck of a comparison.
I mean, he has so much power. He controlled everybody, the rich, the powerful, everybody. Like they say, a king.
Well, and that's why there was
one man.
That's why there was these No Kings rallies on the weekend across the nation, including here in New Orleans and Baton Rouge. Across the nation, there were a lot of No Kings rallies. Did you hear anything about those?
Well, and yeah, you mean in Baton Rouge and
Baton Rouge, New Orleans, elsewhere, yeah.
Yeah, I was somewhat surprised. What about New Orleans? Well,
no, New Orleans had one. New Orleans had a No Kings rally.
Okay. So, is it working or is it?
Well, we'll see.
Listening?
I mean, there was in New Orleans there were thousands of people at what they called No Kings 2.0, and so that's a good sign. And when we say thousands, it was at least more than 2,000 and close to 3,000 people. So that's a good showing. But it takes people being involved in that way and continuing to be involved to make sure that changes are coming. And since the government shutdown is ongoing, people are going to have to stay tuned and be engaged.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for calling, Pop. We're going to have to go to break.
Hey, where's the chief?
Yeah, he's out sick today.
Oh, he's out sick. Oh,
yeah, he's out sick.
About it.
He caught a little something.
Tell him to get well.
So we want him to get some rest.
All right. We'll take.
Have a blessed day, Pop. Call. Thank you so much
for calling.
Same to
you.
All right. Bye. All right, folks, you're listening to WBOK 1230 AM. It is 724 now, and the talk line is 504-582-9422. You can do just like Pop Jones did. Give a call, check in, Let us know you're alive. Let us know you're doing well. If you got a concern, please share it. 504-582-9422. We're going to break, and after that, we're going to talk about more news and information you want to know, might want to know, should know, right here at WBOK, 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Good morning and happy Tuesday. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News, and here's a look at today's headlines. There were scary moments last night as police responded to reports of shots fired inside the Smoothie King Center, but it turned out to be a false alarm, according to the NOPD. This happened during the second night of sold-out shows for rapper NBA Youngboy. And that's not the only problem that unfolded during the concert. Many fans tell us they were denied entry to the show despite having tickets. Police increased the number of officers on the street during the concert, citing safety concerns in other major cities that forced shows there to be canceled. Then budget hearings are set to resume later this morning at City Hall as local leaders try to craft a new budget amid an estimated $160 million budget deficit. The Orleans Parish Public Defender's Office, the Health Department, and NORD leaders are all scheduled to outline their spending plans today. A final budget must be approved by December 1st. And finally, the New Orleans Police Department hopes you'll come out tonight for their annual Night Out Against Crime event. It is happening tonight at the Rosenwald Recreation Center from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. Night Out Against Crime is a national initiative to improve relationships between police and the communities they serve. And that is a look at today's headlines. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News. Have a great day.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Jeezy has been making hit songs for over 2 decades, with collaborations with high-profile acts like Jay-Z, DJ Khaled, Drake, and more. But the hip-hop game has changed a lot since he first started rapping. And Jeezy talked to me about how today it's really easy to release a song that immediately reaches a massive audience.
You can make a record in 3 minutes if you like. But the caveat is you can upload that record right there in your bedroom and reach millions of people. It would have took me millions of dollars to reach millions of people.
Jeezy compared the rapid evolution of music tech to advances in the kitchen.
You know, when I came up, we was on top of the skillet, and then there was a microwave, and now there's the air fryer.
And while he's a fan of a lot of new artists, he does warn that quality could suffer from being able to cook up a hit so fast.
When you don't put as much into something, you can't expect it to be there that long.
I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
New Orleans never sleeps, and neither does WBOK. Now, every voice, every moment, and every show is in your pocket. Search WBOK Media wherever you get podcasts. Download, share, rate us 5 stars. Because when you support us, you amplify Black voices and the New Orleans culture.
A message from the community scientist. Do you live or work in St. James, St. John, St. Charles, Ascension, Calcasieu, Baton Rouge, or St. Bernard Parish? You may be exposed to harmful chemicals like phthalates, BPA, and flame retardants found in everyday products but linked to serious health risks. That's why the Community Scientist, a program of Rise St. James, brings you clear, science-based facts that protect your health and our environment. Stay informed, stay empowered. Visit risestjames.org today.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK.
Right here on WBOK 1230 AM. I am Will Sutton. This is my voice on this end of things, my voice in your ears. But how about your voice? We'd love to hear your voices on the Good Morning Show, 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. There's a lot going on in the world, and we just talked about the upcoming election, and we also talked about the food stamps. But there is more going on. Did any of you all see the Louisiana State University teams visiting the White House? Yeah, that happened yesterday, and President Trump called Louisiana a special state and an extraordinary place, producing them some extraordinary people. I don't think we will argue with that. But the LSU baseball team and the LSU Shreveport baseball team both won championships, and they went to the White House yesterday and had some time with President Trump. So they got a special recognition by the President of the United States for their relevant successes, achieving championships. Not everybody has been going to the White House when they are winners, but some groups do, and some groups go without some star players, and some go with star players. Didn't see anything with indicating that there were any individual protests. It looks like it was whole groups of each of the teams that went to the White House. And of course, House Speaker Mike Johnson from Benton, Louisiana, he was there, as he would be, since Shreveport is in his district, and LSU is in the state of Louisiana. And he looked at the teams and congratulated them as well when the president gave him that opportunity. The coaches had a chance to speak as well. And it was a joyful moment for those young men, and even U.S. Senator Cassidy weighed in, saying, "Only in Louisiana do you get two national champions in the same sport in 1 year. It was great to mark the moment with President Trump and both teams at the White House." So, don't want to take away their joy. What a wonderful thing to win a national championship in any sport, But they did go. LSU's baseball team did go to the White House in 2009 after winning the national championship, and they were hosted by then Vice President Joe Biden, and then Senator Mary Landrieu, and she gave them a tour of the Capitol and the Lincoln Memorial and Arlington National Cemetery. So that's real nice. So, but what do you all think? I mean, should they have gone? Should they not have gone? You go when you're invited. You get a national championship. Doesn't matter who the president of the United States is. Do you go? Or if you're part of a winning team and you feel strongly, do you go because it's no I in team? Or do you say, I can't do it? Do you say, I can't do it? Love to know what you think. 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. So I do want to let you all know, and we'll do some more with this, but I want to bring up some info that you'll want to know because it's important. So on that November 15th ballot will be a bond issue. And that bond issue would support $415 million in bonds to fund the construction and renovation of roads, public safety facilities, recreational facilities, and other infrastructure in the city. So if you vote yes, then the bond issue would move forward, and the city would have that money to operate with, and that would be a good thing given that we have a $160 million deficit. But if the vote is no, opposing that bond issue, that would mean you don't want to proceed with construction and renovation of roads, public safety facilities, recreational facilities, and other infrastructure. Seems like a simple thing, but there could be things in the bond measure that bother you or concern you, you have questions about. So I urge you now to stay tuned here in the coming days to get more information, and I urge you to go online and look for the bond issue to fund city improvements and infrastructure measure. If you do a search for that, you'll find that. And there's also going to be a bond issue that would support $50 million in bonds to fund the construction and renovation of storm water drainage and management systems. Storm warning, water drainage, and management systems. We know it doesn't take in much to get backed up with floods because of drainage. So those two things are going on. Meanwhile, we've got a big deficit, $160 million deficit, and that's just in time for Mayor-elect Helena Moreno as she takes charge as the highest elected official in our city on January 12th. But we can't wait until January 12th to have a budget. Mayor LaToya Cantrell put forth a budget proposal, and City Council is responsible for moving that through and raising questions and making comments and approving that budget with changes. So we've got on the line Councilman Joe Giarrusso, representing District A, but for purposes of this conversation, we've asked Councilman Giarrusso to come on as the budget chair of City Council. Good morning, Councilman.
Good morning, Will.
How are you?
You painted a pretty dire picture. I was doing well till you put all that on the air, and now I'm sobered again.
Did I say anything that's not true?
No. You said I wake up every day with rays of hope, and then reality smacks me in the face. So no, everything you said was exactly right.
Okay, so the mayor presented a budget. That budget, including a proposal of taxes and fees, Democrat or Republican, centrist or otherwise, not many people want to have lots of taxes and fees, but we know it's necessary to have taxes to fund the government. But this is a situation where we have to fund the city government, and we have some limitations based on what we thought might be a $65 million deficit. And now, based on the state legislative auditor's work, it looks like it's more $160 million. So City Council every fall takes a look at the mayor's budget proposal and does its work, not in one day, but over multiple weeks. And those hearings are ongoing. So how bad is it? And talk to us about City Council's role.
Well, look, what you've said is all correct, and I think we've been bracing to see what the number for the deficit for 2024 is. The legislative auditor, as you point out, has said it's about $160 million. And if we did nothing at all but use our surplus, which you'll hear government insiders call fund balance, we'd have $45 million cash on hand. $37 million is in a special rainy day fund that truly can only be used for emergencies, and 5 council members have to approve to unlock. And then you have $8 million that is left free and clear, and that's kind of really skating close to the edge. So I think what the administration, Mayor Cantrell, and the council are trying to do is to look and see where are places that we haven't spent money, or can we move money around to try and help with that. And I'll give you an example. There are about $46 million in American Rescue Plan Act dollars, those federal funds that we got several years ago, that the funds haven't been spent. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, well, all $46 million can go back into the general fund and it's all that easy. But we should be looking to see, is there $13, $15, $20, $25 million that we can reprogram either directly or use for losses, and therefore help make that up. So instead of at $160 million, you're at $140 million or $120 million. So that's part one of the exercise. Well, I would argue part two of the exercise then is, okay, you point out nobody likes taxes and fees, and you're 100% right about that. But then it's within the sphere that we have, are we maximizing our collections? And I think that leaves a lot of questions. For example, when you see that certain property taxes haven't been collected, when there's questions about collections for early childhood millage, when there's questions about how many sales tax audits we're doing, particularly compared to neighboring parishes, I think the first thought is, rather than raising prices, let's make sure we've exhausted everything that we can possible that already exists. And then the last one is just looking where we are. And look, I will say this, the sanitation issue I found to be sort of a 50-50 proposition, because I have people saying, look, we like the service we're getting. We appreciate contractors who are doing their work, who are keeping their eye on it in any part of the city that you may have. And so we understand that you can't pay 2012 prices for 2025 work, right? And then I have another group of people who are saying, well, this is unfair. We really should be paying for twice a week service, and we're only getting once a week, so why should I be paying more? And I would argue we need to correct that narrative and really show the public that, hey, in 2021, the city was losing about $1 million under the then existing contracts, and it's okay. We can make that up, and that's a cost of doing business. But over the last 3 years, with the new contracts from 23, 24, 25, the city's lost $86 million. And so if you want, and my argument to people is, look, if you want the city to keep on spending the money, fine. But then don't be upset when your lights don't get fixed. Don't be upset when your potholes don't get fixed. So I think, but what I think, though, is the second is the really important piece, is that people need to feel and see that you're extracting as much as you can from what's on the books within reason. And before you start talking about the next step of fee increases and everything else. But you also, to your point, you can't live in a world where we have things that haven't been raised in a decade and a half or 2 decades and blithely say, well, we're not doing anything about that. I mean, all prices have increased. I would love to continue paying 2010 prices for my groceries, for my insurance, for everything, but that's not the world we live in. And so I think part of it is having people see the services and feeling like everything is being done possible before you're asking them to dig further into their pockets.
Is there an estimate of how much we might be missing with property tax collection?
Well, there's about 10 to 11 million right now. That's for business taxes that are just going uncollected. And then yesterday, the early childhood millage people appeared, and they said that they don't feel like their collection is being maximized. Now look, you're never going to get to 100% collection. That's just not reasonable. But you have to look at all the places where money isn't being collected and just be aggressive about it. So at minimum, it looks like there's 10 to 11 million dollars. I think we need to dig into that as much as possible and work on it. And look, I've also been an advocate of, if we don't have freezes that are proper anymore, somebody died, somebody's gaming the system. And again, this isn't going to bring in tens of millions of dollars, but it's hundreds of thousands, if not a couple of low million. We need to do that too. And we just need to make sure, again, we're doing it all. And the flip side, well, like when we get to sales tax, I think there have been something on the magnitude of, tens of audits in the city of New Orleans, whereas in Jefferson Parish, there were hundreds. And if you know you're not going to really be audited or they're not going to catch up with you, well, then maybe you get sticky fingers and it's easier to keep it in your coffers and pay the city. And so, again, I think the things that are on the books are important. Here's the last one, too. Safety and permits is probably one of the most vital public safety departments in the city. It's important to make sure things are safe. But if we're not processing things quickly, one of the things we heard, you made the point, council members are asking questions. We heard that to renew permits, you have to bring a certified check to City Hall. Mm-hmm. Now, this is 2025. I can do almost everything on my phone.
That's quite an extra step. Not many people are doing their certified checks.
Yeah, exactly. And so, let people pay online or on their phone. So, again, that's not let's increase revenue on the backs of residents. That's let's make things simpler so people can pay faster and money gets in the door faster and things move faster and people feel better about it.
Okay, Councilman, we've got a caller. We've got Roy on the line. You're on the line with City Councilman and Budget Chair Joe Giarrusso.
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen. Councilman, I have a question. Have y'all considered another option concerning revenue? One idea I was considering is, how about selling the naming rights of certain public buildings, such as the municipal auditorium? Have y'all looked into that?
That's a good question. The answer is, I don't know that we've looked into that. I haven't. Let me say this. I have not looked into that. The only question I would have is, because it's city property, can you do something like that under the law? But again, a very interesting concept. If the superintendent, and here's the other thing, if the superintendent can do it, which is a state property, then, should the city be looking at something similar?
I think the city should, because I think there's a wide open market. It's an excellent source of revenue, and by ordinance, y'all can designate how those funds are allocated.
So I'm hearing the WBOK Municipal Auditorium. Is that what I'm hearing today?
Or do you have another idea, Roy, based on your idea? You have a corporate sponsor in mind?
No, I don't necessarily have the corporate sponsor in mind, but I think that's an idea that the council should heavily look at it, considering the amount of revenue that the state is getting from the Superdome from Caesars. That's one viable option I think they need to pursue.
So you'd be okay walking into the Mercedes-Benz Municipal Auditorium?
I wouldn't have no problem with it.
Okay.
I would not have any problem with it at all.
How about the Shell Oil Municipal Auditorium?
That'd be fine. Or even the WBOK auditorium if y'all want to do that.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Thanks for calling in, Roy. Councilman, we got to take a quick break, and we're going to, on the other side, we got more calls about the budget issue. So hold on. You're listening to WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Expect a more humid feel with warmer temperatures. Highs will be above average, 85 to 88 degrees, so a lot hotter today. Few more clouds today as the cold front moves in. There is about a 10 to 20% chance for an evening shower as it passes through. Now, once it does, expect the comfortable air to return for Wednesday morning with lows back into the low 50s for some of us. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Reshaw.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Looking to join an organization that is committed to help promote economic development in New Orleans East? Look no further. The Greater New Orleans East Business Alliance is a member-based nonprofit organization made up of business owners and local professionals united for the purpose to promote business development in Eastern New Orleans. If you want to become a member, call us at 504-957-3568.
Hello, I'm Gary Clark. Please tune in to Dr. Clark 101, The Living Classroom, which is broadcasted weekly every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. on WBOK 1230 AM on your dial. And as always, it's been a pleasure.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. We're in conversation with Councilman Joe Giarrusso, who is the budget chair of City Council. I am Will Sutton, and we thank you so much for spending some time with us, Councilman. We've got a caller. Reverend Calhoun, good morning, good morning. You're on with Councilman Joe Giarrusso.
Good morning to all. Councilman, my question is, do you think that we're getting a fair share back from the state, given what we send to the state? If not, then what should we attempt or trying to be doing to try to get our fair share back? So I'll hang up and listen to that.
Well, that's a fantastic question. Good morning. Look, a lot of our money from the French Quarter, from hotels, everywhere else gets sucked outside of New Orleans and gets redirected to the state. And it's a problem for as long as I can remember that New Orleans is the economic hub of the state of Louisiana, and yet the money gets sucked other places. This is what I think the hard part is, and this is just a reality that makes it very difficult. If you're a legislator from Kaplan or from Rayville, why would you return money to New Orleans and then tax your own residents? And I think that's always the struggle, is people build their bridges, their roads, their things because of taxes that are generated here that are part of the state's overall budget. And then if you took that away, then they have to, the conversation Will and I just had, you have to figure out new revenue sources in your own parish. So that becomes the bite off. That becomes difficult. I mean, I think part of the question too is as the state is also looking at changing its tax structure, the city has been hit in the pocketbook too. We lost another $16 million for 2026 because of tax that are going away. Well, okay, but then what are we doing to make that up? So if you're taking something away from us, then what is our ability to get revenue that's similar, that isn't overly burdensome on our residents? So the concept is excellent. The question is how we execute.
Well, if that's the case, that we are sending more money out than to support other areas of the state, why isn't it then that when federal monies are coming, they are being stifled and not sent down to help the city? It seems like the politics of it is that I'm going to, for a better word, Chief, that we're going to get jacked down here so somebody else can live better somewhere else. I don't understand why there's not any legislation or any way that we can get more funding to come here. And I understand what you're saying. I mean, the jailhouses was one of the revenue sources for most of these parishes. But I don't understand why we don't have our fair share to help promote the city or help keep the city in the state that it needs to be in to raise more money. So I don't know. I'm just trying to find out why we're not getting our fair share.
Councilman, Councilman, tell me if this makes sense. We don't have enough votes in Baton Rouge to make that happen. We have a New Orleans delegation, but we have a Republican governor. We have a supermajority in the state House and the state Senate, and we don't have enough votes to bring more of the money that is comes from New Orleans to New Orleans. And even under a Democratic administration, that has not been the case. Is that fair?
What else bothers me is that in Amendment 2, the governor put forth, he was at that point asking for revenue to come from every city in the state to be under his control. If this process continues, that New Orleans is going to be more than broke. It's going to be starved out. So help me understand, what is it that anybody, or you're saying there's not a process, but there's got to be something we can do to make sure that, because if this city goes under, everything goes under. That's my understanding. I think there's several things. I think first is trying to maximize, as you point out, those federal funds that we can get. Of course, with this current presidential administration,
There's already cuts that are happening. And so how do you convince the Congress people, all of them, that the cuts that you're enacting are hurting not just New Orleans, but the surrounding parishes too? At the state level, I think one of the best ways to do it is, hey, New Orleans is the economic engine of the city, and so how do you reinvest money here to continue that being the case? Because you want people to come here because of the culture, because of the burgeoning bio district, because of the convention center, because of everything that we have to offer. And then I think we have to help ourselves too with making sure we're delivering quality services and meeting residents' needs to show the state and the feds the need to continue to pump money in as well. So
well, if the feds got $20 billion to give away to Argentina or somewhere, you telling me we don't have no money to send here?
I hear you.
It don't make sense.
I hear you loud and clear. And look, the longer I've been doing this, the more when I hear past mayors and the current mayor, Mayor Cantrell, talk about federal money getting sucked sideways and not being redirected into cities, it's an issue. And I think we've got to make sure that we're providing the services that we're used to and that people need. And if you can't have healthcare and transportation and schools and safety, then you're not living in cities anymore. So those are the things that we should all be focused. And frankly, all those should be nonpartisan. Those should be, how do we help people live well?
Okay.
Well,
all right, Councilman. Thank
should
you
be,
for your thoughts.
should be, but this is the way it is for now, and we're going to have to work through this city deficit, finding revenue wherever we can, and then work on that system, continue to work on that system. Thank you so much for calling, Reverend Calhoun. Appreciate it. Have a blessed day.
Have a good day.
You too. Take care.
All right. Councilman, thank you for sticking and staying with us. What do we have coming up today related to the budget? What do we have coming up this week related to the budget? And for those who care enough to dig in more, what kinds of things can our listeners do to get more in tune with what's happening?
So we have a council meeting on Thursday, so I tried to keep this week a little bit lighter to prepare for that post-election. Today, we have a few agencies in front of us, the public defenders, the health department, Park and Parkways, and then the other entities, Nord and City Park, who received that Parks millage will round out the day today. This week, on Wednesday and Friday, the current mayor and the mayor-elect teams are continuing to meet about transition, discuss the things Will mentioned about how to deal with the budget hole we find ourselves in, and then how we're going to move forward in 2026. And then, look, we don't wrap up the public hearings till November 6th, but it's important, and I had this conversation with somebody yesterday, knowing the world that we live in, nobody's going to get everything they want. So what are the things that residents say are the absolute must-have needs? How do we rally around those and work on getting the budget to those places? And I think what the mayor-elect is concerned with is those quality of life services, DPW, safety and permits, code enforcement. How do they make sure those services are being delivered to people? So I think it's, and I tell people this all the time, Will, the politicians respond when they hear from people. And so for people to be engaged and say these are the things that matter is what gets people's attention.
Yep. Well, we need to pay attention. All of us need to pay attention to, at some level, to what's going on with the city's money, because these are the things that make a difference with the things that we praise and the things that we have concerns about. But nearly everything that's done in the city costs some money. And frankly, I don't see how we're going to be moving forward with any city department or agency not getting cut to some degree. And that's a matter of where else can we find money? Where can we put some things in place to make sure that we're getting more money and then operating as efficiently as possible? So I know you and your colleagues will be on it today and in the coming days. There's still some weeks to go. This is a tough time for City Council, but it's very necessary and very important.
I appreciate it. You couldn't have said it any better. You're exactly right. And those are all the things I think we're wrestling with, which is we want to deliver services. And I've told this all the time. You can't starve this mayor or the next mayor of resources and then expect them to deliver platinum services. So how do you take what you have and create as many efficiencies as possible and then look to the future and convince people of what needs to be done? That's where we all are.
Yeah, well, before we let you go, $8 million to operate is the current operating figure. How long can we last?
Well, $8 million would be what we'd have sort of in the piggy bank if something were to happen. And it's not long. I mean, look, if you have another terrorist attack, you have another snowstorm, you live in a region where things happen, it's not a lot of money. And I think that's part of also what we're trying to look at is how do we get that $165 million number down, keep some money in the bank. We're not going to get back to $140 million this year in the black, but how do you get above that $8 million and put it all together? And so I think the bottom line is it's going to be a series of hard choices and how we reallocate and cut and try to make it all work and, use best efforts on as many things as possible to get this whipped back into shape.
Oh, great. Well, thank you for spending time with us and making things a little bit more clear as they can be, given the circumstances. We appreciate your time this morning, Councilman. Have a blessed day.
Same here. Same to you, Will. Take care.
All right. Folks, we're going to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to talk some more about the news and information you want to know, need to know, might want to know, and we will be happy to take your calls at the WBOK 1230 AM talk line, 504-582-9422. You're listening to WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Trial began Monday for ex-Illinois Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson, charged with murdering Sonia Massey after she called 911.
I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Better not, I swear to God, I'll shoot you right in your face. Okay, I'm sorry. Drop the
Massey was shot in her kitchen, sparking national outrage over race and mental health. Police say 12-year-old Jacqueline Torres was killed last fall and hidden in her family's basement before her body was found in a plastic bin behind an abandoned Connecticut home. She was never reported missing. Her mother, aunt, and mother's boyfriend now face murder and abuse charges. And Turkey Leg Hut's bankruptcy in Houston, Texas ends with over $6.5 million in debt wiped and no assets to repay creditors. Co-founder Nakia Holmes also faced felony charges that same day. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
New Schools for New Orleans is excited to announce that our Katrina 20 exhibit, After the Storm, 20 Years of Change and Progress in New Orleans Public Education, is now open to the public. You can experience this powerful look at how our schools have transformed since Katrina at the New Orleans Public School Library's main branch, 219 Loyola Avenue, during regular business hours, now through December. Bring your friends, family members, students, and colleagues. Looking for a group visit for your school or organization? Email us at info@nsno.org.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
back to the Good Morning Show right here on WBOK AM. I am Will Sutton, and you might be missing my colleague, Chief Eddie Compass. He is out sick today, and it's best for him to take care of himself and get better. And we wish him best wishes, and we'll send up a little prayer for him so that he can get better as soon as possible today and get back to his regular self. It's 8:10 a.m. If you're out there heading to work and you need to be there at 8:15, you got just a few short minutes. For those of you who need to be there at 8:30, remember the babies are out there going to schools. Some of them are still in transit. Watch out for the buses. Watch out for the babies walking. Watch out for the parents and guardians and grand walking them across the streets near the school, because the school zone is still in effect, 20 miles per hour until 9 a.m. Well, we had 2 nights of NBA Youngboy. We had 2 nights of NBA Youngboy. And I don't know if you went to the NBA Youngboy concerts, went to both of them or one of them, but maybe you know somebody who loves the music that he produces, since he got 4 number one albums on the Billboard 200, and he had a lot of mixtape success that led him to this additional success. The young man's, I think, 26 years old, and he has this huge following, and he's had a series of concerts. There have been problems at previous locations with violence and shootings and all. I am happy to say that there was a report of a shooting there at his concert last night, but it turns out that was unfounded. The increased security at the Smoothie King Center and around that vicinity, we had 400 police officers assigned there, and nothing of major note happened inside or just outside of that concert. But the big drama, there was some drama. There was big drama because NBA Youngboy, also known as Kendrell Galden, decided to take a walk. He decided to take a walk, and with about, I hear different reports, 6 to 8 of his boys, take a walk after the concert on Sunday night for whatever reason. And where does he go? Bourbon and Canal. He goes to the French Quarter because he wanted to take a walk. Now, I'm not sure who advises this young man about his personal security and where he should go. But based on the video, I'm not sure the 6 to 8 young men who seem to be his boys helping him out with moving through the streets were officially armed and capable of protecting him. New Orleans police had to jump in and help him move from the streets to an SUV. But while he was in the streets, it didn't take long for people to recognize him. There's video out there of him leaving his hotel and walking out, and there are a few people around there. But as he gets closer to the French Quarter and Bourbon and Canal, so everybody out there, because who's out there? Not me. I'm pretty sure I was in bed. They recognize him. So let's take a listen to one of the reports that involved the drama outside of the concert.
Police rushing NBA YoungBoy to safety after he was swarmed by fans overnight. Take a look at this. Project NOLA cameras capture fans surrounding the Baton Rouge rapper with cameras out. You can hear yelling from the crowd as New Orleans police quickly step in. That's when officers surround YoungBoy before pulling him away from the crowd growing of fans and into a vehicle. Law enforcement officials say there were no arrests during this incident. This all comes after NOPD announced ramped up security for concerts Sunday and Monday. Tonight's show at the Smoothie King Center, that remains on schedule.
So what do you think? You're 26 years old. You like to hang out. It's been a part of your lifestyle. Yes, you've been in trouble. You've been in prison. The president has pardoned you. You're out and you're free. You can be free to be your own self. You can be the dad that you want to be. You can be the musician and the entertainer that you want to be. But thousands and thousands and thousands of people know who you are. Do you decide to stay in and be safe? Or do you decide to go out and take a walk, but maybe an arranged walk with appropriate security? And where would you go that would be good? Is the French Quarter the right place to go take a random walk after your Sunday night show? I don't know. We've got a caller. Andres, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing?
Fabulous, fabulous. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. Listen, and I hate to bring this young man up in this story, but I have to. And the way Kyron Lacey was treated and the things, the hate and stuff that you get received from social media, the regular media and the internet, this man received that triple, quadruple fold, right? And the only place he doesn't receive that kind of hate is from his actual fans, right? It's all love. And so I feel that it's kind of hard. He probably wanted to, in his heart, be out there with the people that love him instead of just sitting around listening and seeing. Because when he opens up things, for the most part, what he's seeing is hate. You know, that social media tends to be more hateful than loving.
Yeah.
And when you go out there and you're actually with the people, it's love. And they be needing that. You know what I'm saying? We might think he's rich, he's famous and that, but just think of the extraordinary amount of hate and misinformation and just criminalization. And I mean, look what they tried to say was going to happen, and look what happened. And by the way, those white people that live in the surrounding parishes off of our tax dollars, that were so concerned with the way we were going to spend our tax dollars on protecting this guy and his fans, are livid that on this great Tuesday they didn't get to wake up to headlines of what those, being able to say, look what those savages did to the city. Oh, they're livid because they wanted to wake up and be able to tell a story. And that's why I think, I'm going to say, let's not feed into, what was he thinking about going out there in the quarters? And we're calling it an incident. It wasn't an incident. His fans was running to him because they love him, and he was escorted away. There was no incident. But I think he went out there because he wanted to feel the love, because there's so much hate everywhere else. And the place he get the love from is those people that was running to him at the French Quarters, in the quarters, because they love them people. I don't know now one of that man's songs, but guess what? All my nephews and nieces love him. I don't know not one, but that's my spiel. I get.
I got you. So if he were to give you a ring in advance of this and say, sister, I think I'm going to take a stroll, what do you suggest? What would you have suggested to him in advance?
I'm pretty sure I would have suggested something different, but you know what? He didn't get to where he was listening to us old people, I'm sure.
But
honestly, he didn't get to his place in his position in life and being who he is to his fans, listening to our old butt.
All right, but if he told you, if he had the chance to tell you before doing that stroll, he said, "This is not." I
mean, obviously, as I would say, are you crazy? They gonna say you live from them out there.
But what if he said, I'm going to do it. I just want
Mm-hmm.
you to tell me what you think about
I
it
mean, as a
I
person
do it.
that's been in
Don't
prison,
tell me don't do it. I'm going to do it. What should I do?
as a person that's for him that has dealt with the type of situation he has dealt with the police and stuff, I don't see him trust. I feel like he probably trusts his fans more than he trusts them. You get what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just, I feel like he might trust his fans. Man, I'm not fooling with them people. You know, I'm sure his experiences with cops isn't lovely. You know, so.
Well, they sure helped him out on
No,
Sunday
I'm not
night.
saying they didn't. I'm not
Yeah.
saying they didn't. I'm just saying, it's perspective.
I
Yeah,
understand
it's
that.
perspective.
Yeah, he's been in trouble with the law for better or worse, and it reached a point where,
I mean,
without
since he
going
was a
into all
child,
the past,
so
that
really, did he get in trouble, or did the law come finding him? Because it's been since he was a child,
well, that's right.
Itty bitty child.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, he's made it, and he has the opportunity to make it some more. And
I mean, the worst we have to talk about after this weekend, the way they was trying to prep it up, is that he went and took a walk in the French Quarter. It's bigger than a win, because I'm telling you, those folks are livid that that's all they have to talk about.
Well, I am glad that New Orleans isn't going to be on the list of places where the thing was shut down, where there was violence, where there was injury or anything else. So I'm glad not to be on that list. And I'm happy for the young people who went out and had a good time doing whatever they were doing.
Can I change the subject, but stay on the subject a little bit?
Sure.
In this city, we have gotten to a point where we're silly in a way that we are afraid of our young people together. I grew up in the 90s in the middle of a crack epidemic where 400 people were getting murdered a year. And we still had school dances at every school every year because we were not afraid. Well, they were not afraid. I'm going to say, because I was a child. Those teachers and community members were not afraid of the kids and letting us gather. And some people going to say, oh, yeah, they're different. No, they're not. We had 400 murders in a year then, and we don't have nearly that now. We're in the middle of a crack epidemic where families with the fathers was in jail and the mama was on crack, and these schools had a dance for us to gather every week. John Mack, Fauché, McVeigh, St. Mary's. Then you get what I'm saying? And so the thought process of this weekend was that, oh my God, all of these young people are going to gather and they're going to, and we allowed that narrative to live when we have lived through the crack epidemic, 400 murders, and our youth were gathering every weekend at different dances. We got to stop being afraid to have a great expectations of our youth being able to gather, and that's why we don't have dances and things for our children to do, because in our mind we feel like soon as they get together, all mayhem is going to happen, instead of understanding this. Guess what? How much mayhem happened at the Saints game? Do we ever shut it down? How much mayhem happened in the French Quarters without our young children? Do we close it? No, but for some reason with our kids, though, they can't gather because they're going to have mayhem.
All right.
That's just my rant this morning.
Well, I hear you, and I'm happy that you called. Okay. So have a blessed day. We've got another call.
All right.
We've got another call. Mama D, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing wonderful. How are you all?
Fabulous.
Great. I just want to say thank you to the caller who just hung up, but I have a problem with a lot of your what ifs. You're asking what would you have said to the young man if he said he wanted to go out and take a walk? That is a question mark, but he actually did it. And what happened was nothing. What happened is, as the young lady said, his fans recognized him. They rushed out to support him the same way I did when I saw one of my idols. And I didn't rush her, but I went up to her and asked for an autograph, and she gave it to me, okay? I don't understand why we're going all the way back and talking about when this young man did have trouble with the law, but as she said, he was a kid then. He's a 26-year-old man now. Can we focus on what he's doing and what he's done since then? We don't need to keep a bad narrative about this young man, because even his fan base did not create the mayhem that was expected. There was so much that was done expecting all of this negativity and all of this rioting, and none of that happened. Can we say that? Instead of going back and asking, oh, okay, but what if this would have happened? What if that would have happened? Well, it did happen. He did walk out. He walked out on his own, and nothing happened.
And that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Please, let's focus on the positives of our young people, because apparently his following is not the following of some of the others. And we know what happens. We are, the city that hosts everything. Everyone comes here for all of the conventions. We know what happens. And it didn't happen here. So can we focus and say, this young man came into the city with his crowd. It wasn't the Taylor Swift and when she came in and all of these other ones, but this young man, nothing happened. This young man, when the New Year's Eve with the terrorists, okay? This young man, nothing happened. Nothing but positivity. And I'm just not hearing that this morning. I'm hearing that we're going all the way back about what could have happened. What would you have said? Who's to say someone didn't tell him not to go out there? They could have. But as a 26-year-old man, he trusted himself, and he went out there and got to see and interact with his fans. Every person that comes through this city of celebrity status, they all go out. And we got many of them that live in the French Quarters. Okay, they go out. There was nothing wrong with him going out. But as the young lady said, they were fearful of what could have happened, and the police picked him up and carried him out. They didn't just let him walk out on his own. They didn't do crowd control and still allow him to engage with his fans. They didn't do that. No reports of anything negative happening, fights, nothing but the love that his fans showed him. And I appreciate that previous caller, because as much positivity as she was saying, I just didn't get that from you. And it's like we kept going back about his legal troubles and his past. What is he doing in the future? What is he doing right now? Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your call, Mama D. Have a blessed day. We got another call, and we're going to have to go to break. Stand by, David. We got to go to break at WBOK 1230 AM. The talk line is 504-582-9422. Again, 504-582-9422. We'll get back talking about this and some other things right here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Hey y'all, make sure you tune in on Thursdays at 12:30 p.m. for the Roux with Chef Bunny, sponsored by Blue Plate Mayonnaise on WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning and happy Tuesday. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News, and here's a look at today's headlines. There were scary moments last night as police responded to reports of shots fired inside the Smoothie King Center, but it turned out to be a false alarm, according to the NOPD. This happened during the second night of sold-out shows for rapper NBA Youngboy. And that's not the only problem that unfolded during the concert. Many fans tell us they were denied entry to the show despite having tickets. Police increased the number of officers on the street during the concert, citing safety concerns in other major cities that forced shows there to be canceled. Then budget hearings are set to resume later this morning at City Hall as local leaders try to craft a new budget amid an estimated $160 million budget deficit. The Orleans Parish Public Defender's Office, the Health Department, and Nord leaders are all scheduled to outline their spending plans today. A final budget must be approved by December 1st. And finally, the New Orleans Police Department hopes you'll come out tonight for their annual Night Out Against Crime event. It is happening tonight at the Rosenwald Recreation Center from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. Night Out Against Crime is a national initiative to improve relationships between police and the communities they serve. And that is a look at today's headlines. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News. Have a great day.
Join us Wednesday morning, October 22nd at 8 a.m. Healthcare goes live on the Good Morning Show. Tune in to hear United Healthcare's Dr. Toyosi Okunromu talk about mental health and important health tips. Wednesday morning, October 22nd at 8 a.m. on the Good Morning Show.
Hi, this is Arnie Filko. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events to sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join Carrie and I every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Carrie Show. See you soon.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com. Fresh produce, local flavor, and a healthy you. New Orleans East Hospital is hosting a farmers market the last Wednesday of every month from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Join us in the parking lot across from the main entrance. Support local farmers and your wellness. We'll see you there.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show right here on WBOK 1230 AM. I am Will Sutton. Chief Eddie Compass is not with me today. He is out sick, needing to recover from whatever bug caught him last night actually. He reached out and let me know he didn't feel so well and didn't think he was going to be able to make it. So I suggested he get some rest, and I'm glad that he's taking care of himself. And we'll be in touch. We are talking about the NBA young boy situation, which basically is he came, he left, no incidents. There were reports of gunshots last night, proved to be false. We are not New Orleans. New Orleans is not on the list of places where there have been troubles with young boys' concerts. We're going to get back to some other news shortly, but let's see what's on David's mind. Good morning, David. David, are you there? David. We're listening for you, David. If you're not there, we're going to ask you to call back. Sorry to miss you. We're going to move on. Well, thanks for calling, David. We appreciate you calling. Sorry that we didn't get you in the time that you had available, or perhaps there was some technical difficulty. Well, let me tell you about some other things that are happening that you might want to know. Every year, the city of New Orleans has a property tax sales, and this is that week. So I know we've had a lot of other things going on, but my colleague at the Times-Picayune, Joni Hess, reports today that for those people who have property with delinquent taxes, you have until Thursday. Today is Tuesday. You have until Thursday to pay off whatever you owe. Otherwise, those delinquencies are going to be put out to bid. So the New Orleans Bureau of Treasury will run its annual tax sale from October 21st through the 23rd. And that's for unpaid taxes from 2022, 2023, and 2024. You might have taxes owed in each of those years, 2 of those years, or just 1 of those years. But any taxes owed for years prior to 2022 must be paid in full, and that has to be applied to the last 3 years. So, but those people who are up on their taxes and are interested in seeing where someone's woes might be of benefit to you, you have an opportunity to look at delinquent properties that the city is going to be putting up for sale at civicsource.com. That's CIVIC source, SOURCE.com. So you can take a look at that website and see if there's anything that is of interest to you, and follow the directions for looking into it and finding out more. So the tax sales are open according to the website. You can look at property for property purposes and investment purposes. There are learn and shop buttons, so you can look into buying property with secured investments or buying property for zero plus some costs. So those of you who have that type of flexibility, this might be the week that you add more to your property portfolio, or perhaps this gives you the opportunity to move into a home. So you can check out Joni's report at NOLA.com, of course, but look at civicsource.com, civicsource.com to get more information about that annual property tax sale. We also have developments out of Washington, D.C. and Portland, Oregon, and San Francisco. Because in San Francisco, there was a decision by U.S. appellate judges of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals that the Donald Trump's authority to send National Guard troops to Portland is okay. It's okay. So they overruled a lower court's temporary restraining order that stopped the deployment for nearly a month. But according to this ruling, it is okay. And these judges decided that they're going to approve that authority. And that means the Guard can move forward. So the mayor of Portland, Keith Wilson, was quoted as saying, "We will not stand by federal agencies sidestep local authority. Our legal team, working with the Oregon Department of Justice, will use every lawful tool to prevent this overreach." So I'm not sure how Mr. Mayor is viewing this opportunity to send the National Guard, but clearly he is concerned about what this might look like, having National Guard troops sent to his city. And we have the governor of that fine state of Oregon also weighing in, and her comment was, quote, "I have repeatedly called on the Trump administration to tell the public exactly what mission he expects National Guard members to do. These citizen soldiers have been pulled away from their families and their jobs for weeks to carry out some kind of mission in Oregon. But the Trump administration has been silent on the answer to my questions." So it seems to me that you would want to work with local and state officials if you want to send troops into their state, into their city. And that reminds me that it was just a few weeks ago when New Orleans Police Department Chief Ann Kirkpatrick was here, and she said nobody had reached out to her about that possibility. Well, after we had that conversation and I reported on it in one of my NOLA.com columns, she got a meeting. So she's had that meeting. We don't know all of the details about what happened in that meeting, but the Governor, Jeff Landry, is on track with his request to have up to 1,000 National Guard troops in the state of Louisiana in selected urban areas where there are crime problems, as he defines them. So that hasn't been determined, but it looks like that could happen as early as next week. We've got a caller. Good morning, Ben. How are you?
Hey, Will, how's everything going, man? You know, you sound a lot better when you don't have Eddie Compass there with you.
What?
But, yo, man, look, I just have to point this out, man. People have short-term memories. Eddie Compass oversaw the systematic murder of black people under the New Orleans police, the planting of evidence on black people, right? And he says he's the champion of black people. I don't get it.
Ben, do you have a question?
Yeah, well, okay, with the National Guard. You know, we had the National Guard here, too, after we had our first terrorist attack, and they didn't take anything over. I mean, the city was glad to have them. Now, when you talk about these concerts, like, you know, they needed 400 police officers, wouldn't it have been nice to have a cushion of National Guard that could maybe either fill in or could maybe help out with that? I mean, these Democratic governors are shooting themselves in the foot to try to spite Donald Trump. And the only people that's going to suffer are the people who live in their cities, because, believe it or not, no one wants to have crime in their cities. And even the mayor of Washington, D.C. said that crime went down after the National Guard came through. And anyone who, let's say, has dealt with the New Orleans police lately, they know that they are extremely lazy, that they have this agreement with Pano that they do as little as possible, and that anything that they're asked to do, they say, well, we have a consent decree. We can't chase anyone. We can't do anything. We could just sit here and, you know, and gain our paychecks every week. I mean, it is a total joke.
Well, let me hold on, Ben. I want to read to you and our WBOK family of listeners the part of the dissent from the appellate court judge who disagreed with that ruling. They're based in San Francisco, but this was about what will likely happen in Portland. Here's what the dissenting justice said. Given Portland protesters' well-known penchant for wearing chicken suits, inflatable frog costumes, or nothing at all when expressing their disagreement with the methods employed by ICE, observers may be tempted to view the majority's ruling, which accepts the government's characterization of Portland as a war zone, as merely absurd. But today's decision is not merely absurd. It erodes core constitutional principles, including sovereign states' control over their state's militias and the people's First Amendment rights to assemble and to object to the government's policies and actions. You agree with that?
I don't think anybody's stopping them from going out and have a peaceful assembly. No one is stopping them from doing that. This is just, it's fear mongering. That's it. I mean, if somebody wants to, like, Will, if you want to go out on Elysian Fields right now and hold up a sign saying, I hate Donald Trump, do you think anything's gonna happen? No. I mean, if 100 people did it, do you think anything would happen to them? No. I mean, they just had the No Kings rally. Did ICE go through there? No. Did the National Guard stop them? No. It's fear mongering. I mean, let's think back. Donald Trump was already president once, and none of these things happened. So why is it? It's just to whip people up into a frenzy to say we're going to give Donald Trump constant negative coverage every day. We'll never do a positive news story about Donald Trump. I don't think WBOK has ever done a positive news story about Donald Trump ever.
So you think that giving him kudos for getting to the point of whatever peace accord has started is not positive?
I've never heard the mainstream media give him credit for that. They have stated a ceasefire has been into effect, but they have never said, well, it's because of the actions of Donald Trump. Now, I can assure you, if something goes wrong, the same mainstream media outlets are going to come on and say it's because of Donald Trump. You see, when it's something bad and when it's something negative, it's because of this boogeyman, Donald Trump. But when it's something good, it's because of some other reason or some other person, or maybe because of Joe Biden or Kamala Harris.
Well, I disagree with you, Ben, because I follow the news, and I've seen a number of headlines from mainstream media where they have said Trump and his team is responsible for getting the to the point where there is this level of peace on the multiple point plan at this point. Now, is it peace for all of the future? We don't know that yet because there are so many intricacies in that peace proposal that have to take shape. But there have been a number of headlines about what Trump did with that peace. And as would be true, Democrat or Republican president, the media is responsible for looking at the plan and following it day by day to see where it's hitting the mark and where it's not hitting the mark. And that too is happening. But that would be happening if it was President Joe Biden, if it was President Clinton, President Obama, President Bush, or any other president. The mainstream media should be looking at it and saying, here's a success, but following up to look at the points in the plan to see if they are followed through on.
Well, maybe in a perfect world, those things would happen. But hey, Will, let me ask you this as a final statement here. If the Danziger Bridge shooting would happen under Donald Trump, you think Donald Trump would have gotten blamed for it?
If a what shooting?
If the Danziger Bridge shooting would have happened under Donald Trump, you think Donald Trump would have been blamed for it?
No, because
okay.
I don't see how a president of whatever party or political persuasion would have been connected to that. So no, I do not think that would have happened.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I just wish some of the listeners wouldn't think that either, because I firmly believe if anything like that would happen now, it would be blamed on Donald Trump. Oh, it's white supremacy. Oh, it's the erosion of our democracy. Oh, it's the fight against the rule of the law. I mean, I can hear it now over and over and over and over again. But because it was a chump named Eddie Compass who was the chief, a black man,
come on,
he
Ben.
gets a total pass.
Ben. All right. Thanks for calling and have a blessed day.
Okay, thanks, Will.
All right. So we're going to take a quick break here, folks, and get back and close out the show so we can get ready for the front porch with Kimba and Graylin. You're listening to WBOK 1230 AM. My name is Will Sutton. The talk line is 504-582-9422. You're listening to WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Expect a more humid feel with warmer temperatures. Highs will be above average, 85 to 88 degrees, so a lot hotter today. Few more clouds today as a cold front moves in. There is about a 10 to 20% chance for an evening shower as it passes through. Now, once it does, expect the comfortable air to return for Wednesday morning with lows back into the low 50s for some of us. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Reshaw.
Wake up your taste buds at Inner City Brews and Bistro, home of the one-of-a-kind peach cobbler pancakes. Start your day with our soulful breakfast favorites. Then come back for bold cocktails and those oh-so-good Creole flavors that always hit just right. In the heart of Treme, every bite feels like home. Doors open at 8:30 a.m. and find us at 1401 St. Bernard Avenue. Inner City Brews and Bistros, uniquely New Orleans, deliciously unforgettable.
Saints of God, it's time for us to tell you the truth. It's time for you to start your 21-day challenge. Don't take another day. Do it right now. Call 504-701-4711. That's the whole water stove, Pastor David Impartian Sr., the host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. This is the water that's designed to change your body, the way you think, the way you act, and the way you look. Why don't you start your 21-day challenge today? For $35, you can start it right now. Call me so we can set up your appointment. 504-701-4711. That's 504-701-4711. Change your water, change your mind.
Hey everybody, it's Kimba White Dupree.
And it's Graylin Brian Banks from the front porch. We're coming up next.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show right here on WBOK 1230 AM. I am Will Sutton. My partner, Chief Eddie Compass, is not with me today. He's under the weather, so we wish him well and pray for his getting better soon. We are talking this morning about news and information of various kinds. And we want to know what you have on your mind. Any of you all seeking to pay your taxes, they are owed this week. A special tax sale will be going up. That's October 21 through 23, and you can take care of your back taxes. And don't forget, for those of you who are interested in delinquent properties and getting a very nice deal, you can look up civicsource.com, civicsource.com. So take a look at that as well. And, you know, there are a number of other things happening in the nation. And, you know, one of the things is that President Trump is trying to lay off more than 2,000 interior staff in the shutdown. And that decision has been placed on hold. That decision has been placed on hold. The Interior Department is responsible for lots of things, including the Bureau of Land Management, Reclamation, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, National Park Service, U.S. Geological Survey, and others. And the National Park Service layoffs would target quite a number of parts of the country, including some of workers in the Northeast Regional Office, the Southeast Regional Office, and the Pacific West Regional Office. So yes, it would affect our region as well. The Southeast region, which includes us, as well as Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Mississippi, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, has 73 parks and 4 million acres across those states and territories. So laying off a bunch of workers could mean that those parks are not serviced the way they should be. We've got a call. Good morning, Raquel.
Good morning, Will. How you doing?
Fabulous. How are you?
I'm doing okay. It's definitely a privilege for me to call in and check in with you on this lonely old Tuesday morning. But when I say well done with the critical issues and topics and the way you maneuver through them all, gracefully, it's just wonderful to definitely witness, Will. That was a great job that you done today. And I must say, you definitely are a force. You're a one-man army, Will.
Well, I want to hear some
declare
of it.
That.
I want to hear.
Oh my God, it was just amazing, and the fact of the appreciation, goes far deep with me, definitely with I would say, Will, what I definitely witnessed today. I think you need to start up on thinking about 60 Minutes with Will Sutton. 'Cause I think that'll be once a month. Oh, Will, don't you worry about it. They talking about NBA young boy fan base. I bet you oh my God, it was wonderful today.
Well, good. I'm glad you enjoyed the show. I hope that we'll continue to get a diverse number of views on this show. The Good Morning Show should be a place where we can hear from some of everybody, whether they are scheduled guests,
absolutely,
whether they are scheduled guests or they are elected or appointed officials, or if they are connected to community and grassroots organizations. And then, of course, our callers who don't need to be elected officials, appointed officials, or anything like that, but each individual who is a part of our WBOK listening audience is important to us. And we want to hear those viewpoints, even if we disagree with those viewpoints. And yes, sometimes people will disagree with something I said or the way that I said it, but I hope that overall people will understand that I am working to engage you all with news and information that I think you would want to know. And sometimes that's going to mean commenting in a way that is a what if, because I want to stimulate thought, because I want to stimulate ideas. And sometimes it's like, here's what I think about something that Trump did, and something that Landry did, or something that LaToya Cantrell did, or something that Helena Moreno is going to do. But that doesn't mean we don't want that diversity of ideas. I am one black man with an opinion. I happen to have a couple of platforms, one at TimesPicayuNola.com, and then this one here at WBOK. But that's it. I am one black man with opinions. And I want the best for this city and this state and this nation. So I appreciate your call, Raquel. We're going to have to make way for the front porch.
Okay, well, thank you so much, and I'm so glad I was able to check in with you. You know, I may not have the time and patience, in the little time that I need on my hands to check in and, call in, but I'm always listening, Will. Just
All
remember, Raquel always will
All
be
right.
listening.
Have a blessed day.
Thank you.
All right, folks, it's been a good show. We want to thank Reverend Calhoun, Trees, Mama D, Ben, and Raquel, and others for calling in. I see you, Patrice, Sean, Jacqueline, Karen, Linda out there on Facebook Live. And we want to thank Councilman Joe Giarrusso for priming us about what's going on with the city budget today, this week, and in the coming weeks. You're listening to WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.